He'll tell you the full tale, but like I'll let him. Dogman.
What's happening?
I was just talking to Chris there because obviously we want to be Mark. Can you remember? Like you've even explained the crap about Mark. You mentioned it last year, didn't you? You were the first person to ever mention it, and then it never. Go on, then I'll let you speak.
It never took any traction, mate.
For this year.
Listen, but you know,
can you explain what he done? Explain what he done, because Chris doesn't know.
Well, Chris, it was all to do with a teenage girl.
Right.
All to do with a teenage girl, and he was actually a young fella himself. He ended up in young offenders called Hyde Bank.
Postal, like back in the day, it was a postal, wasn't it?
It's actually used over here now for up until the age of 21 and for women. So it is. It's
did he the youngest person ever be released or something? Remember
what's that?
Did you say the youngest person ever be released?
He says he was the youngest person released under the Good Friday Agreement, but that was a lot of balls because he wasn't in an organisation. Now, Mark says he's never been beat or punished or put out of the community. Yeah. I can get Shufflin to send a screenshot now of Mark in his own words. In his own words.
But I'll put it up tomorrow.
That he took the beating and he could put it in his own community. Mark in his own words.
Yeah.
Mark Belfast.
I'll explain that. So he commented on a video, on some video. What was the video, Dogman?
Don't tell anybody it, but just the things
right.
are.
I'll put it up tomorrow. I'll show it out because I can't send it now.
Dogman. Again, first and foremost, right, mate. The thing is, the first I've heard a lot of you are obviously in things, but chuffed it. But I've never had the chance to speak to you, right? Again, I'm like, now you because you were the brunt of a few jokes. I remember Jay saying to Jay's Belfast, keep saying I've got Dogman in the kennel, stuff like that. I didn't know who Dogman was, but again, did Jay know something about Mark when he went to Scotland? And like, do you think because they went out there as pals and then they come back and Jay was outcasted and then Mark slowly got.
I'll tell you what happened in Scotland, Chris. They went over to Scotland, right? Mark had told Irish name that he didn't want to go to Scotland because Jay was going. So they couldn't understand it. So they got to Scotland and Mark was recognised by the people they were going to see. Who Jay and that was going to see. And he was recognised for the wrong one that he is.
Right.
They give him his name. They give him his name, told him what he did. He'd been pipe bombed out. Jay was also partial to seeing the video where Mark was caught by the predator hunters.
Right.
Yes, remember that.
You know what I mean? So that video was also Jay, in his own words, he put into a podcast, maybe 30 words, put into a podcast that it's about a fella getting shot, being punished by a organisation in his own community for whatever he did. And Mark put into it, Shufflin has it, Mark put into it, yes, understand where you're coming from, lad. I suffered the same myself, broken bones and all. And
I'll
Mark
put it up
Bell,
tomorrow.
you know what I mean?
So is that why he's got the damage in his leg? Is that why he's got the damage in the bullet in his leg?
Listen, yeah. Mark told Irish name a story about that. It was because of a fella with no legs, a fella who lost his legs over here about 20 years ago, or just over 20 years ago. A fella did lose his legs. I actually gave the initials of the fella last year.
Yeah.
Mark's on about giving the story that they did it and all this here crack. Mark's nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. Mark doesn't belong to an organisation, never did. Mark Belfast is a beast. Full stop.
So Mark belongs to the ring, really, doesn't he? Not an organisation, it's a ring, what you would call it.
No, wait there, we've got another. I'll get Dogman next. Tell them the tale about the van that time when they were coming to the doorstep.
Well, listen, they were